Ever found yourself tangled in the web of English and Urdu words that sound similar but have different meanings? Well, you're not alone. English and Urdu, while distinct in vocabulary and grammar, share a surprising number of words that can be quite confusing. In this video, we'll journey through 30 of these tricky pairs, illuminating their meanings and illustrating their use with example sentences in both languages. So, buckle up and stay tuned as we unravel the mysteries of these words. Scene script. Let's dive into our first set of words. First up, we have accept and accept. In English, accept means to agree to take or receive something. For example, she accepted the job offer. In Urdu, we say, NWN nai nokri kai pishksh kubul ki. On the other hand, accept means to exclude or leave out. For example, everyone attended the party except for Sarah. In Urdu, it translates to Srini predi main shirkt ki swayi sur ki. Next, we have advice and advise. Advice is a recommendation or suggestion. We might say, I need some advice on my career. In Urdu, it would be Mairi Kairier, Kai Brai Main Mashur Chai. When we say advise, we mean to offer recommendations or counsel. For instance, she advised him to invest in stocks. In Urdu, we say, Enchi buen nisi sticks main sermi kri kerniki mashur di. Moving on, we have affect and effect. Affect means to influence or impact. For instance, the news affected her deeply. In Urdu, it's Kburni NPR GR Thurfur. Conversely, effect refers to a result or outcome. For example, the new policy had a positive effect on the economy. In Urdu, it's Ni plisi ni misht perm beterfur. Next, we have complement and complement. Complement means to complete or enhance something. We might say, the wine complements the cheese. In Urdu, it's Shurb jiben kiyu tamil kirti hai. Compliment, however, is a polite expression of praise. For instance, she received a compliment on her dress. In Urdu, we say, En kai kpran parar tarif memli. Lastly, we have principle and principle. Principle is a fundamental truth or belief. For example, honesty is a fundamental principle. In Urdu, it's Imdri ik nidi sul hai. Principal, however, is the head of a school or organization. For instance, the school principal welcomed the students. In Urdu, it's School ki mdirni tilbakustki. Remember, practice makes perfect. Ready for the next set of words? Let's dive into our third set of words. First up, we have allude and allude. Allude, spelled A-L-L-U-D-E, translates to shura kern in Urdu, which means to indirectly reference or hint at something. For example, she alluded to her upcoming project. In Urdu, that would be Nwdbn Naipini Anilai Mensubik Shirki. Elude, spelled E-L-U-D-E, translates to BCHN, which means to escape or avoid. As in, the suspect managed to elude the police. Or in Urdu, Mishtabani Polis Kobichli. Next we have desert and desert. Desert, spelled D-E-S-E-R-T, translates to shore in Urdu, meaning a dry, barren area. Like in the sentence, the Sahara is a vast desert. In Urdu, Shrai Sherbur Kirk Lalkai. Dessert, spelled D-E-S-S-E-R-T, translates to myth, referring to the sweet course at the end of a meal. For instance, we had chocolate cake for dessert. Or in Urdu, Hum ni myth kani minchklit kiki. On to capital and capital. Capital, spelled C-A-P-I-T-A-L, translates to Drolkumt in Urdu, referring to the city where a country's government is located, like Islamabad is the capital of Pakistan, or Et Salem Abdstan Drolkumt Hai in Urdu. Capital, spelled C-A-P-I-T-O-L, translates to Kidua Mai Assembly, meaning a building where a legislative body meets, as in, the U.S. Capitol is in Washington, D.C., or Mraiki Kumi Assembly Washington, D.C. Main Hai in Urdu. Finally, we have Site and Cite. Cite, spelled C-I-T-E, translates to Hual H. Dine in Urdu, meaning to quote or reference a source, like, he cited several research papers in his essay, or Endobian Nipini MD Monmayan Ki Thui Ki Mdimin Kahual D in Urdu. Site, spelled S-I-T-E, translates to MQM, referring to a specific location or place. For instance, the construction site is near the river, or in Urdu, Tamir KMQM Dry Kai Kribhi. Keep practicing these words to avoid confusion. Let's continue with more words. First up, we have continual, which in Urdu is MSLSL. It refers to something that's happening repeatedly without interruption. An example in English could be, the rain was continual for days. And in Urdu, you'd say, burst MSLSL chulti rai. Next, we move on to continuous. In Urdu, it's LGTR. It means unbroken or without interruption, but it often refers to space or time. An English example is, the road is continuous. In Urdu, it's Surak Eljtar Hai. Our third pair of words is illicit and illicit. Elicit, translated as bizi bakern in Urdu, means to draw out or evoke a response. For instance, the teacher's question elicited a variety of responses. In Urdu, staj kai sual ni mukhtalf jubat bzib ki. On the other hand, illicit, or gir kanuni, refers to something that's not legally permitted. An English example could be, the illicit trade of wildlife is a serious issue. In Urdu, you'd say, jingli haint kai gir kanuni chirt yik sanjid musil hai. The fourth pair is loose and lose. Loose means not firmly fixed in place. In Urdu, it's dil. An example in English is, the button on my shirt is loose. In Urdu, it's mairi kamis kabitan dil hai. Lose or kodain in Urdu means to be deprived of or cease to have. An example in English is, I hope I don't lose my keys. In Urdu, it's mji midhi kamain pinich bin naim ku didalwen. Finally, we have precede and proceed. Precede means to come before something in time. In Urdu, it's fly huan. An example in English is, dinner will precede the meeting. In Urdu, it's kun meeting si fli hug. Proceed, or agi burn in Urdu, means to begin or continue a course of action. An example in English is, he proceeded with his presentation. In Urdu, you'd say, Newen ni pini pishkis agi bur. Remember to use these words correctly in your daily conversations. Ready for more? Let's go. Let's embark on our exploration of the 16th word pair, capital and capital. Capital, spelled with an O, refers to a building where a legislative body meets. For example, in English we might say, the U.S. Capitol is in Washington, D.C. In Urdu, this would be Mriki Kumi Simbli Shington DDC Mine High. On the other hand, capital, spelled with an A, refers to the city where a country's government is located. In English, we might say, Islamabad is the capital of Pakistan. In Urdu, this translates to Slam Abd Pakistan Ka Drulkumt High. Moving on, we have cite and cite. Cite means to quote or reference a source, as in, he cited several research papers in his essay, or in Urdu, Emdiyan Nipani Emdamun Main Kai Thwiki Mandmin Khuldi. Site, however, refers to a specific location or place, like the construction site is near the river, or in Urdu, Tamir Kaim Kim Dry Kai Kribhi. Our next pair is stationary and stationary. Stationary, ending with airy, means not moving or fixed in one place. An example in English would be, the car was stationary at the traffic light. In Urdu, you'd say, Trifklit par kurjam huaidai. Stationary, ending with airy, refers to writing materials, such as paper and pens. For instance, I need to buy some stationery for school in English becomes mji skul ki li kantismen kridenhi in Urdu. And there you have it. We've journeyed through another set of confusing English words and their Urdu translations. Remember, language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Keep practicing these words to enhance your language skills. Let's continue with our next set of words. First up, we have adverse and averse. Adverse, spelled with a D, means unfavorable or harmful. For example, he had an adverse reaction to the medication. In Urdu, it translates to mkelf, mukhalif. On the other hand, averse, spelled with a V, means having a strong dislike or opposition to something. An example would be, I am averse to spicy food. In Urdu, it becomes mukhalf hun, mukhalif hona. Next, there's bazaar and bazaar. Bazaar, with two A's, is a market often in Middle Eastern countries. For instance, she bought spices from the local bazaar. In Urdu, it's BZR, bazaar. Bazaar, however, with an I and E, means strange or unusual. For example, his behavior was quite bizarre. This translates to Jawaib Ajib in Urdu. Then we have complacent and complacent. Complacent means self-satisfied and unconcerned, as in, he became complacent after his early success. This word is kud psnd, kud pasand, in Urdu. Complacent, on the other hand, means eager to please or obliging. An example of this would be, she was always complacent to her teacher's requests. In Urdu, it becomes kushkalku, kushkolk. The next pair is eminent and imminent. Eminent, with an E, means famous and respected, like, the eminent scientist was awarded a Nobel Prize. This translates to marwf, maruf, in Urdu. Imminent, with an I, means about to happen. For instance, the storm was imminent. In Urdu, it's sar parkur, sar parkada. And finally, flaunt and flout. Flaunt means to show off, as in, she likes to flaunt her designer clothes. In Urdu, it's dako kern, dikawa karna. Flout, however, means to openly disregard, like he decided to flout the rules. In Urdu, it becomes kalaf rizi kern, kilaf warzi karna. Remember, understanding these words can significantly improve your communication skills. Ready for our final set of words? Let's start with insure and insure. Insure, spelled with an I, translates to bayam kern in Urdu. It means to arrange for compensation in the event of damage to or loss of property or life. For instance, I will insure my car against theft. In Urdu, that translates to mayan ni gri tri ki kelf bim kranji. On the other hand, insure or wequin dln means to make certain that something will occur or be the case. An example is, please ensure you lock the door when you leave. In Urdu, it's bur kerm ikin dliin ka ap jbgin w drujband karduin. Our next pair is later and latter. Later, or be de mine, refers to a point in time in the future. For example, we will discuss this matter later. In Urdu, it's hum ya mamilh beed mayan beeth crying guy. Latter, spelled with two T's, or akri, refers to the second of two things or people previously mentioned. For instance, of the two options, I prefer the latter. In Urdu, that's dw katirt main sai main akri kiabu tergh dit hoyuen. Next up, moral and morale. Moral, or kilki, refers to principles concerning right and wrong behavior. An example is, it's a story with a strong moral message. In Urdu, it's yi yik mdbwt kelki pgm wuli kini hai. Morale, with an E at the end, or WSLH, refers to the level of enthusiasm and determination in a group. For instance, the team's morale is high after the victory. In Urdu, it's FTH Kai B Team QUSLH bland high. Our penultimate pair is prey and prey. Prey, spelled with an E or shkur, refers to an animal hunted or seized for food. For example, the lion stalks its prey. In Urdu, it's shirpni shurk pik kurt hai. Pray, spelled with an A or dekern, means to make a devout or earnest request. An example is, I pray for your success. In Urdu, it's mainap ki kmibi ki dekurt pobuen. Lastly, stationary and stationary. Stationary, spelled with an A or jam w, means not moving. For instance, the car was stationary at the traffic light. In Urdu, it's driftlit perker jam hoidai. Stationary, spelled with an E or kudismen, refers to writing materials. An example is, I need to buy some stationery for school. In Urdu, it's mji school kai li kuchkagi smen kridden hi. Remember, practice makes perfect. We've covered a lot of ground today. From accepting to advising, alluding to eluding, and even from the arid deserts to the sweet desserts, we've embarked on a linguistic journey across 30 pairs of similar-sounding words in English and Urdu. Each pair, though seemingly similar in pronunciation, carries its own unique meaning and context. Understanding these differences is more than just a linguistic exercise. It's about appreciating the nuances of language and how the same sounds can mean different things in different contexts. It's about unraveling the threads of communication and understanding how we convey ideas, emotions, and information. In English, a single letter can make a world of difference. Take stationary and stationary, for example. One refers to a state of stillness, while the other denotes writing materials. Similarly, in Urdu, a single word can have multiple meanings depending on its usage and context. The journey doesn't end here, though. Language is an ever-evolving entity, and there are countless more words and phrases waiting to be discovered and understood. So keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep practicing. Remember, mastery doesn't come overnight. It's a result of consistent effort and practice. So take these words, use them in your daily conversations, write them down, play with them. With time, you'll find yourself naturally distinguishing between these similar-sounding words, enhancing your linguistic skills in both English and Urdu. Keep practicing these words, and you'll become a master at distinguishing between them in no time. Until next time.